What's going on, guys? For Pine Sports, I'm your host, Katie Walge, with another drop of my daily dimes. With the NFL in full swing this week with their training camps, we are nearly on the brink of football season, and I can't wait for this year and all the bets to come week one. And to help us hold us over until then, I have Pine Rider Justin, also known as Player Prop Savant here, joining me for today's guest with his best MLB dimes of the day. Pine and PrizePicks have teamed up, and now all Pine users that deposit and use the promo code PINE will receive a 100% instant match deposit of $100. Pine is also doing an exclusive PrizePicks sheet in our free Discord. Basically, anyone who's in the Discord gets PrizePicks props with our data. It makes searching baseball props super easy, and you still have access to the Pine robot and the ability to share charts. Join today with the code PINE. Justin, welcome onto the show, making your debut here, which is awesome. I know you have two great baseball picks today, so which one are you going to start us off with?
So my first play of the day is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over 1.5 total bases. Facing off against the Tigers tonight, Tyler Alexander is on the bump. And obviously, you guys know, Blue Jays versus lefties. You guys know I love to take that. On the season, he only has a 6.8% K rate against lefties. We have a 140 WRC plus against lefties. And at home this year, we're seeing a 130 WRC plus for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Tyler Alexander is going to be throwing about 68% fastball in this matchup. And obviously, if you guys have watched Vlad enough, he is not going to miss many of those fastballs, especially from Alexander, seeing as he only has a 12% strikeout rate. Now, when we're going into Vladdy here, he's been on fire. He's been absolutely cooking this year. And I mean, there's really no reason to think that a guy throwing cutter, four-seam, and two-seam sinkers here are going to be able to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out. 7-game win streak for the Blue Jays going into yesterday. They ended up losing to Adam Wainwright. Now we get a lefty. Every single time I see a lefty on the docket in Toronto, it's signing me up. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., since he's been moved into the two-hole, has actually batting over 350. I actually really like that move. Obviously, Charlie Montoyo got moved. He got fired. And ever since that, they moved him into the two-hole, batting over 350. And Tyler Alexander is now moving back into being a starter. He was really good out of the pen with a 1.29 ERA. When we go into him as a starter, his first start moved back into the starting rotation. We're seeing an 8.76 ERA. Absolutely blown up. 12 earned runs in 12 innings and 14 total runs, because obviously the Tigers defense is not great either. So it's going to be a really tough matchup. A lot of fastballs and a good fastball hitting team. Ton of righties, ton of power. Springer, Gurriel, Vladdy, Kirk. It's going to be a tough night for Tyler Alexander, and I expect Vladdy to be on the winning side of this one. All right, guys, second play of the day is actually going to be my Pine prop of the day. We are on a 4-1 run on these, so obviously want to make sure we get to 5-1. And I'm going to a plus money spot. Jose Urquidy of the Astros. I'm taking him under 5.5 hits allowed. I know he got blown up by Seattle before. I know that everybody's going to be posting this play or posting Seattle hit props. And I get it. You guys, you're looking at the old games. But let's look at Jose Urquidy's home road splits, right? This is, if you've watched enough of my shows, you guys know Cal Quantrill. You guys know Carlos Rodon. You know Zach Greinke. Those three are three of my best props of the year, because we just take them when they're at home and we don't take them on the road. Urquidy falls into the exact same category. At home this year, he's got a 2.63 ERA versus a 4.8, and also a 2.37 batting average allowed at home versus a 2.71 on the road. Everybody's going to look at last 4 outings, right, against Seattle. 3 of those are in Seattle, right? That's exactly the reason why I think that we're getting a great line on this. 5.5 is way too high. And even if we look at Urquidy's career numbers, right? 219 average allowed at home versus 239 on the road. That is really, really good. A 219 batting average allowed is elite. And that's how he's been all the time at home, guys. And this is why this is a very good buy low spot. Looking at Urquidy's last 3 home games that he's thrown, 18 in a third innings, only 12 hits allowed. So he's been very, very good. And also, we're looking at his home numbers here as well. He's got a 10% strikeout boost bump in home games, 24% K rate versus only like a 16 on the road. So we're getting a better matchup here. And we look at this Seattle team, they got three guys that hit him well, right? Julio Rodriguez, obviously sensation. He's a phenomenon. But he's been really carrying this entire team this entire time, right? Eugenio Suarez, been hitting him very well, and Ty France. All three of those guys have over 400 batting average against Urquidy. I get that. Every other guy is under 260 though. So we have to focus on those three. Obviously, you're a MLB pitcher. You had guys have success. When you're this good and you've been good for this long, you're going to make adjustments. Obviously, you're better at home as well. You're more comfortable on this mound. I think the Astros take this one. I've seen a lot of Seattle Mariners love, and I understand it, but sometimes you got to go against the grain here. And I think that Urquidy under 5.5 hits allowed at plus 100 is the spot to go. You can't pass up the plus money. You can't pass it up. And I really like this spot for Jose Urquidy. All right, guys, if you're looking to find more content from me, I will be on Twitter at player_props. You can find me over on YouTube. We host our weekly show 3 times a week, myself and Monotone Football for Pass the Prop. We're over at my YouTube channel with Player Prop Savant. So that's where you can find me if you want more plays. Hit me up in the DMs over on Twitter. I can definitely help you out with some more plays and action for you guys.